and just see how you go.
Yeah, sweet.
So you're coming off the fastest run split in the Singapore heat with only a 7-day turnaround. What was your immediate go-to or thought post-race recovery once crossing the finish line?
Yeah, I think like crossing the line, the first thing I was kind of interested in was just bottles of cold water tipped over my head, obviously, after racing in Singapore. But immediate thoughts were just kind of carbs. I think someone handed me a can of Coke, so that was the first thing, obviously pretty basic, but does a pretty good job, really. My go-to post-race nowadays is I use the Science in Sport cherry juice. So I always chuck one of those in my race bag and just mix that with the water to have like post-race. And I found I get a lot less DOMS, like a lot less muscle soreness in the day following the race if I do that, which obviously like with the quick turnaround from Singapore to Western Sydney, that was a big major focus of mine. So that was kind of a non-negotiable. And then just straight into dinner after that. Obviously with the afternoon race, that's just the easiest way to kind of get the fuel back in and try and get as much in the stomach as possible.
And it's always hard, isn't it, after a race like that to then obviously calm down, get a good night's sleep, and then with the travel as well in the back of your mind. But I suppose that brings us to the next question. Have you got any travel hacks that help with immune health and also jet lag? I suppose as athletes, when we travel, you're very susceptible with cold and flus and that kind of thing. Have you got anything that's your go-to or that you must have when you travel?
Yeah, so it's a product that I use kind of throughout the year, but it's something I definitely use more of when traveling. You get on the planes and you hear people around you coughing and sneezing and stuff. It's not the most pleasant place to be. So I'll do a double scoop at least of the Pillar Ultra Immune C. I find getting as much of that as possible if there's any kind of signs of being sick. But obviously with the risk of traveling from Singapore back to Australia while trying to recover from a race, that was one of the products I was definitely going to.
Yeah, and I think people don't realise, obviously, the heat in Singapore, throw in travel, come back with jet lag, and then to prepare for the next race, it's obviously so important on that side of things. And it was interesting, obviously, chasing these big wins. I'm sure you're chasing the little 1% gains everywhere you can. And we noticed some interesting products in your pre-race fuel plan. Can you tell us a little bit about what they were and how you think they help and affect your performance leading into a race?
Yeah, so a couple of new products that I've started using in the last probably 12 months or so would be the Plasmade and the Nomeo. I've always, for years, I was a beetroot juice guy. And I used to love that, but it's not always the easiest thing to travel with, and there's always that bit of panic that it's going to spill through your suitcase and ruin everything. Switched over to the Plasmade for that, trying to get that nitrate boost. And it's a product that I've used for about a year now, I'd say, and quite like that. I do a bit of a load up. I usually do kind of 3 weeks on, 1 week off, and try and time it around the key events throughout the year, I guess. And the Nomeo is a similar one. Like I've just kind of recently started using it in the last 6 months, and mostly race day, and then also some kind of key big sessions throughout each load. So maybe once or twice a week I'd take it before like a big session, just to kind of make sure I'm getting the most out of that training day, and then obviously that kind of just accumulates over time.
Yeah, it's amazing. The obviously a lot of the research and development is around race day and the lactic buffering, but I think now as well with the recovery side of things and allowing you to perform at that high level week in, week out is a really big one for Nomeo as well. So do you load it the night before a race and have one the night before and then one morning of, or how would you use it in your protocol?
So far I've just been using it one of just race day. So I'll take one in the morning, or that's 3 hours before the race, obviously. And whenever that kind of fits in, it's usually kind of right when you wake up for one of these races.
We're normally up pretty early to try to get in breakfast and things, so it's easy just to take that shot, which is really good.
Yeah, exactly.
And you mentioned that you normally don't back up quite well for the first 2 weeks, especially after a race like that in T100 where you had the fastest run split. So what do you think worked for you in this prep as opposed to previous preps with what you've done in the past?
Yeah, I think it was probably a mix of a lot of things. Obviously, this time I was very conscious that I did have to back up. So it just meant that week between, I was doing kind of as little as possible, I guess. I just wanted to really get some energy back in the body and make sure I was recovered as well as possible. And there's yeah, just a lot of changes and adaptations through just the training load I was doing, and yeah, trying to keep up these little things like the plasmade through that week, and just getting in the carbs needed. Obviously, like that's the fuel for the body. So yeah, like every day over the last week, I was kind of throwing in an extra sachet of Morton to kind of just make sure I was always on the top limit of kind of that carb intake.
It's great to see you nail it on the weekend, mate. And obviously you got that race week plan dialed in now, so you'll be able to back off that one all the time. So, and then just one last one. If you could only have one product in race week to get the body right, what would be your go-to product?
Yeah, go-to product for me, if there was only one, it would be the Morton drink mix, the 320. I think carbs is king, obviously. So that's the most important thing for me, I'd say, in the products I take. It's such a good product. I do 1.5 through my bottles on the bike just to kind of bump the numbers up a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty versatile. Obviously, I could almost skip gels if I was to just take an extra half sachet and things like that. So yeah, I'd be pretty confident getting through a race just with the drink mixes there.
And the convenience to it. We can have so much on our bikes these days, and to have it very minimal, and to have just the drink mix there, and obviously easy on the stomach, and to be able to get off and run the times that you're running at the moment. It's obviously working for you, so it's obviously a great product to use.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've this year have added an extra sachet to my bike leg just to kind of get the numbers up a little higher, and it also kind of less reliance on gels. So I kind of have them taped on the bike there just in case I kind of lose the bottle through a bumpy section of road or anything. But it's nice to not have to be thinking so much about grabbing a gel every 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, and I suppose especially with the new 20-minute draft rules and all, you don't get many chances to sit up and grab gels and things like that. So I suppose that the less minimal you can have it on the bike and easier, the easier it is to come when you hit the run leg, I suppose. So yeah, I will appreciate your time, mate.